Thank you, Catherine. Good morning, everyone. As you can see by my accent, I'm currently in the UK, but I'm originally from Canada, so I'm from East Coast Canada. Oh, where's the pointer? So I'm a registered dietitian, and I did my master's in research in exercise physiology, looking at the effects of acute exercise on energy intake, appetite, and metabolism. And reading in the appetite and exercise literature, I became really interested in the area of appetite research. So I'm fortunate enough to be in Professor John Blundell's lab at Leeds right now pursuing a PhD. So my PhD looks at the effects of physical activity status on the sensitivity of the appetite control system. So I'm looking at the differences in people that are very active or have low activity levels in two main concepts of appetite control. So passive overconsumption, which targets the process of satiation or meal termination. So with my nutrition background, we have some appetite challenges that we manipulate the energy density of the meals, and we look at those effects. So I'll show you pictures later in the next slide. So first study was looking at passive overconsumption. The second study looks at energy compensation, and that's the process of satiety, which is the period after you've eaten. So for this study, we give a porridge snack that changes energy density. So one's 250 calories, the other one's 700 calories, and we look at an hour later if there's changes in ad libido energy intake. So in addition to that, we're looking at the role of physical activity and fitness in the mechanisms of appetite control. So our lab focuses on several aspects of appetite control. So I'll go through some of the measures that we go through in our lab. So we look at appetite-related peptides. So in my first study, I took a fasting blood sample. So I'm looking at ghrelin, leptin, PYY, insulin sensitivity. Then we take resting metabolic rate, so how much energy an individual expends at rest. Body composition, so in the bod pod, we see fat mass and fat-free mass, and then we try to link these two distinct entities of body composition in appetite control. So VO2 max test, taking fitness into consideration. We use physical activity monitors to measure free living physical activity. I have a colleague here, Anna, that's an expert in this area, so she's going to talk about that tomorrow. And then these are the meals for my first study, so looking at passive overconsumption and ad libitum energy intake. So first meal is the high-fat meal, second meal is the low-fat meal. So we're just seeing whether people are, if there's differences in how much people eat at those two meals, whether they're very active or inactive. Appetite sensations, so we track them with our little PDA devices, and eating behavior questionnaires and food reward. So we use several questionnaires to look at the psychology aspect of appetite control, and we use a computerized task to measure the processes of liking and wanting in food reward. So as you can see, my research looks at nutritional and physical activity, but I'm here to in this program, summer school, to see a little bit more about the other facets of obesity research beyond physical activity. So that's me.